guess the first question I gotta start off with is, who are you and what's your scenario?
Yeah, so Will Duffy here. I currently pastor a small church outside of Denver, Colorado. And I came up with something called the final experiment, which is an experiment to end the debate over the shape of the earth. And so this took me a very long time to come up with. It took me a very long time to figure out all the logistics and how to make it work. But what we're going to do is we're sending at least one globe earther and one flat earther to Antarctica this December to see whether or not there's a 24-hour sun, a midnight sun in Antarctica. If there is, we live on a globe, and if there's not, we live on a flat earth. And so that's what we're going to be doing.
All right, thanks. Just give me one sec. I just want to make sure that I did press record on that. I'm just a bit worried about it. Yes, all good. I'll cut that part together. That's all good.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for that. Woke up at 6:30, so this is a bit fun here. Uh, Seeing as this is a Zoom call and I'm going to be a bit silly here, I just wanted to make sure that you were wearing pants for this particular conversation.
I'm wearing shorts. Does that count?
That's good enough. That's good enough. Now, I saw Reg Redrick's video the other day, and it was a bit of a grilling, I have to admit. And I want to put it out here that I think that what you're doing is fantastic, and I've been like every single morning checking on it and stuff like that. So I'm excited, and I want to make sure that you get some positive vibes once in a while because there's a lot of people who are asking hard questions.
I appreciate that.
Cool. Um, okay, so I got some slightly left of center questions because I've been hearing most of the same sort of stuff, and so I just want to throw a few left of center ones and then a few dumb ones, which is just stupid. The first question is, do you plan to have a bit of an itinerary for people to lay out and sort of observe? Because I obviously the premise is there, but as to times when people need to get there, etc., is probably a little bit in the dark.
Yeah, so if people want to join us in Antarctica, they're going to have to pay their own way, for starters. I'm only paying for one flat earther and one globe earther to go. Now, people are reaching out. They do want to join us. People are paying their own way. So when that happens, I will connect you with the company that does these Antarctic tours every year. They're called Antarctic Logistics and Expeditions, ALE. And I'll connect you with them. You're just going to pay, you pay them, nothing goes to me. You pay their regular rates, and they have an official itinerary, which is when you have to fly into Chile, into Punta Arenas, when we leave Punta Arenas to fly to Antarctica, how long we're there, when we fly out, all of that kind of stuff. In terms of an itinerary as to the experiment itself, that's going to be a work in progress. I'll know more. Like I'm still working out so many details. Like, are we going to be able to have internet? Are we going to be able to live stream? Which cameras to take? All that fun stuff. So we will get more information so that people can know how to follow it, how to maybe see us live, all that stuff as we get closer to December.
Yeah. The reason why I asked was because I wasn't too sure, like, if you wanted to be at Punta Arenas like 2 days prior and have 2 days after, just to make sure that, if say for instance wind or something like comes up, you have to leave a day later at Antarctica. You might lose all your flights if that's the case. So it just needs a little bit of buffer on each side.
Definitely, yeah. Once someone is approved by ALE to go, and they pay their deposit, they will then get all of those instructions, detailed instructions on clothing, food, flights, and yeah, you definitely want to get there early, and then also make sure your return flight is a little bit later because weather can be, hit or miss down there for sure.
Okay, good, excellent. Um, Next question. Well, I guess this was next the different question. How many days were you planning on lodging in Punta Arenas? But I think we've already done that. Um, Now, this is just we know that the internet connection at Punta Arenas is going to be just fine. So, do you plan on doing like a quick 2 hour live stream of everyone down the bar, or having a bit of a meal and having a chat?
Absolutely. Yeah, the plan is to do a live stream in Punta Arenas for a couple of reasons. One, it'll just be fun.
Yes.
I'm hoping we've got five flat earthers and five globe earthers there, all just, breaking bread together. I mean, I think that's historic. I don't know if that's ever been done before. And then we'll also do a live stream just for those, naysayers and doubters who might think we are not in Chile. We're going to go ahead and look at some landmarks and some restaurants, and we'll confirm for everybody where our geographical location is for sure.
Yeah, definitely good. I had a little bit of a look at Punta Arenas on the Google Map thing the other day, and I noticed that there was some sort of orange. There's like an orange statue which looks like it's got a ship on the inside. So that might be a good geographical thing. It's not quite on Google Maps because the street view was like 2012, but it's there on some of the images. So
Great.
small
Thank you.
recommendation.
Yeah, thank
Um,
you.
okay. Now I know that I know for a fact that there's probably if there is 24 hours down in Antarctica, there's obviously not going to be any stars there. So is anyone potentially going to check the stars down at Punta Arenas because you will get the twilight?
Yeah, so we've been asked to do this. I think it's a great idea. And so, yes, that is part of the plan. I don't know how exactly how we're going to pull it off yet, but I absolutely want to do that while we're there. We'll have time.
Yeah, yeah. It all depends on if someone has the skills and knowledge because I don't know about you, but I probably wouldn't be able to have a clue. So, yeah. I mean, apart from looking for the Southern Crux, I think that'd be about it. Um, okay, this is a bit of a stupid question here. Uh, so, do you think the plane is going to have a big enough fuel tank for a 4 hour flight? Seeing as fuel tanks on aeroplanes is fake.
Oh, sorry. I didn't catch it. Okay. Yes. So it's a 757. This plane is capable of going much further distances than a 4.5 hour flight. So no concerns there.
Yeah, I think that, but some people don't seem to don't think planes have fuel tanks for some reason. Um,
They do.
yeah, I know. I know you've talked about the mountains nearby a few times, and I know Wes Wally sort of put up a question. And I think he probably beat me to the pace. But I'm assuming, are they going to allow you to be able to go 1 or 2 k's north of the base and they just have a little camera location there so you can stay away from the mountains?
Yes. So they're going to allow us to set up a camera outside of camp, which is great. I'm not too concerned about the mountains. I've had a ton of people doing modeling from all over the world, actually. So I'm very thankful for that. I don't know how to do this kind of modeling. I have no idea what kind of software they're using, but we're getting a ton of modeling.
Hmm.
And I don't expect the modeling to be perfect, but from what we're seeing based on our dates, from December 14th through the 18th, the sun should not go behind one of those mountains. So I feel good about that. Just in case, we will be taking a drone. In case it does go behind a mountain, we can fly that drone up and verify that the sun is still in the sky.
Yeah, I do agree because I have seen the video from Bert, and I have asked for more more penguins in his videos, so I'm sure he does. Um, okay, so this is sort of a run on from what that other one was before about the about Jeremy saying that if he sees like more than 3 hours of clouds or whatever, he doesn't 100% know if that's a sunset. But what I was thinking about that particular subject is that I checked the AE map, and according to the actual the pathway of Tropic Capricorn, it should not come between the 45 degrees from north on each side, and so northwest and northeast. The sun shouldn't pan out from there. So I'm thinking that the easiest thing to do, apart from all the sundials and stuff that people are going to be doing, is you just draw a V on top on the snow, and if it
Mhm.
actually goes, to the west and goes outside the V, it's pretty much done and dusted, really. They can't complain about that, but I know that they're going to want more evidence.
Yeah, I like that idea. We've been getting a lot of similar ideas, like putting
Mm.
up flags and things of that nature. Um, The hard part is going to be determining cardinal directions while we're there. That's one issue. That's one of the issues that a 360-degree sun would solve. If we don't get the cardinal directions perfect, if it does a 360, we know we're on a globe. But that's something I'll consider. So, one idea I really like would actually be recording shadows. The shadow
Yes.
of the sun on the flat Earth model would go like this back and forth, and the sun on a globe model would go like this. The shadow, sorry, would go like this all around the object. So I'm going to try to record shadows as well.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think you might have some idea of where you are when you come in on the airport track and the direction of the mountains. I think going downhill might be slightly north, but I'm not too sure. Okay, this is a bit of a left of center question. I've been noticing this 24 numbered type scenario, and I was thinking about the fact that you did all this in secret and then you came out and burst out on a particular date and then just released it all. So, me being a Bitcoin guy, I'm wondering whether or not you would think of yourself as the Satoshi Nakamoto of the Flat Earth movement, seeing as you've come out with all these numbers and you've tried to hide your identity.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that guy. I don't even know if that's his real name or not, or if
Nor do
anybody
I.
knows. Okay. So the big difference here is that my name is really Will Duffy. I'm really the guy behind the final experiment. I'm really on the globe side, and I'm really trying to settle this debate once and for all of our sake.
Yeah, I agree. I've tried to invite quite a few people down on the Qantas flights before to do similar things, but no takers so far. Okay, I'm just going to re-raise one of the things I've said on my prior video, obviously, that I was talking about just shooting a sextant at all different directions, but you just generally, I think you've already received many recommendations on that already anyway.
Yep.
Yep, exactly. All right. And the second recommendation, which I put up and I thought it was a bit funny, and I reckon I could probably help you out with this, but would you like me to post you out a few of those call flute faces, which has like pictures of Flat Earth Dave, Witsit, and like Caleb, just for fun? Because I think it represents their like them being in location.
So there's a chance Austin Whitsitt will be there with us
Okay.
in person. I haven't heard anything from Caleb, but maybe Caleb is considering, I'm just making this up. It's more wishful thinking, me being hopeful. Maybe Caleb is going to crowdfund, to his TikTok audience and be there with us in person. So my goal right now is to get these people to be there with us in person. So no need for a cutout.
Okay. Um. Okay. So I watched the Jeranism video the other day, and if Jeranism is sort of, pushing Witsit to be able to go, like you just said, um, and it sounds as if he wants Witsit's ticket to be covered as well. Is there anything we can do to be able to help, you being able to get on the airplane? Because if you have to surrender the seat because two flat earthers want to take those seats, I don't know. I think a lot of people will be expecting you to actually still be there anyway.
Yeah, so I am going to do everything in my power to be there. But in my opinion, I think it's more important that we have people who are well known in this space on both sides to be there other than myself. So the verdict is still out. We still don't know exactly what's going to happen. But I will do everything I can to be there. But if I can't, I do think it's more important that we have a guy like Dave McKeegan on the Globe side, and we've got people like Jaron and Austin on the Flatter side.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, if it turns out that way, I'd like to be able to donate, obviously. And I've talked to some people in the some chats as well, and so I wonder if anyone doesn't meet their crowdfunding or whether or not they'd roll it in to be able to make sure that you can get a flight. So, because I think it's probably important for you to be there, seeing as you are the head of this thing. So,
I appreciate that.
cool. Um, Now, I know that this is the final experiment and all, but I'm just wondering, as I'd mentioned to you in some of the emails, do you think it's ever worthwhile to do like a backup of this, like a year or two later or whatever, with the Qantas flight I was talking about?
I that's a good question. I don't really know. I'm hoping that this is going to be kind of definitive,
Yeah.
and maybe it will make people excited to do the Qantas flight if once we know what's really going on with the sun down there.
Yeah, because I think that this one's the flight over Antarctica is obviously a lot cheaper, and so I'd like to be able to present that to people who obviously are complaining it's all too expensive. So
I like it. I like the idea.
yeah. Um, okay, I got a few dumb questions. Um, so are you going to make sure that you send out the dialects if none of the flat earthers come? Because you got 24 to list, and if none of them come, have you got speed dial of the dialects?
Yes, hoping I don't have to go there. I have two flat earthers. I actually haven't mentioned this yet publicly. So two flat earthers that are on the list of the 24 that were originally invited to participate have stated either to me privately or publicly that they would go if I paid for them. So I'm not too worried about running out of people in our list of 24. There's also at least one person who's semi-prominent that's not in the list of 24 that has agreed to go as well. So we've got people in the wing.
That's good. Great, great, great. Um, are you going to need any help claiming the 3 Bitcoin from Flat Earth Day? Because, I mean, I don't know if you've got the Bitcoin skills or anything like that, but uh, I think he needs to pay you if this turns out right.
Yeah, I mean, we got to take it one step at a time. We've got to see what's actually going on down there. Maybe he's right, but if he's not, and we get, we document that, I think that it would make sense for him to be a man of his word for sure.
Definitely, definitely with capital D for sure. Um, these are a few sort of double questions I just wanted to ask. Um, so is Eric Dubay coming? And if he is going, um, will you be able to set up a tent for him to be able to do his yoga?
Um, does he still do yoga? I don't
I'm
know.
assuming so.
So I don't see anything from Eric that he wants to go. I've had a hard time getting him to communicate with me. He did finally say one thing to me in a YouTube comment where I commented on one of his videos. He called the final experiment a straw man experiment, which I don't fully understand, considering he's been so adamant. You can listen to his own words. He says there is never a 24-hour sun in Antarctica on any day of the year. And so to me, this is perfect. Let's go test your claim.
Yeah, I totally agree. Um, I think you might have semi answered this question before, but have you heard any word from Caleb at all? And do you think that there's a pair of ski goggles which are tinted enough for us to not see his crazy eyes?
So, what's interesting about Caleb is that he really likes to talk about Antarctica a lot. I think if you go to his TikTok, I think his pinned videos are about Antarctica. So, not sure why I'm not hearing from him, but if anybody knows him or wants to ping him, let him know to reach out to me. I'd love to get his thoughts on our experiment.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, I'm eagerly anticipating to hear whether or not Witsit will be joining journalism, but if he does come, do you plan on gagging him on the aeroplane so that he doesn't talk so much?
No, no gags. I've enjoyed my conversations with Austin so far, so I don't expect anything different.
Yeah, fair enough. You can tell I'm a bit of a troll. um, do you have any do you have any magical methods to be able to create heart attacks, or is that just a myth?
No, I don't have that power, and I'm glad I don't have that power.
Yeah, it's it's a weird one how someone can think that you can be heart attacked, but yeah. Um, Now these are pretty small tents, I believe. From what I saw from Where's Wally, there's two beds in there. Obviously, there's a lot of worry about putting a flat earther in the same room as a globe earther. But yeah, obviously, there's going to be other explorers that are all going to be globes. I'm assuming they're going to have to keep that tight knit down there. Down there.
Yeah, I have no issues staying in a tent with a flat earther, but if they have an issue, it won't be a big deal. They could either stay with another flat earther or stay with someone who doesn't know who they are.
Yeah, that I mean that's an acceptable option if they just wanted to zip it and go to bed and stuff like that. That's fine. Um, Now I got a really strange question here. So obviously you're taking on the flat Earth community now, and there's no doubt that the other annoying community out there is the moon landing community. Like in 4 or 10 years or something like that, do you plan on flying to the moon to go out and take a few moon hoaxes up and land on the moon?
That would be fun. That could be TFE 2.0, but that is nothing I have in the works. Sounds very expensive.
It sounds very expensive, but I mean, I had to throw that stupid joke in there anyway because we all know that hoax is out there too.
Well, I would say this, if the flat Earth is real, then I don't think it's possible that we've landed on the moon. Because if we do live on a flat stationary plane, we wouldn't have pictures of a globe from the moon.
Yeah,
So
true point.
those kind of go hand in hand.
True point. Um, I've run through most of my quick questions because it was all just roughly silly. I just wanted to jive it up a little bit instead of asking all the boring questions. I did notice you talking about selenelian eclipses recently, and I wanted to sort of, I guess, describe a bit of a thought that might be able to help clear up what that sort of thing is. So I was
Would
thinking,
love to hear it.
yeah. So I was thinking, I was even struggling to fall asleep last night during thinking about this, but I was thinking about describing it like as if you're driving a green and blue car, and you're on a nice straight road, and you're seeing a truck up ahead of you with a whole bunch of their high beams on. That's very very bright, and you've got a car behind you which is a little car and it's grey. Now you're cruising along. You're going along like a slight curve, and the grey car behind you has pulled over. I'm talking from an American perspective here because I know I'm Australian and all, but the grey car behind you has gone a little bit over the white or yellow lines. So just double check that the truck is up ahead, and so it's getting a little bit of light on the driver's side of the actual car. Now, as you're driving, if you look in your left hand side mirror, which is your driver's side mirror, and you look back to this grey car, you'll see that brightness on the driver's side of the car, and it'll look just generally normal and fine. And I consider that to be the afternoon sunset. And if you go and look at your opposing side, your left hand side, your passenger side, and you see the grey car with the light on the incorrect side, that is your morning side, and that's the reason why we see reason why we see the eclipse all upside down. So yeah, I think that's the best way to be able to visualize it. I might do my own video on this sort of stuff, but to understand it on the sunset side, everything looks sort of normal. But on the sunrise side, that's where everything is flipped upside down and where the moon is dropping down into the horizon, but the light is on the underside.
Yeah, I didn't quite follow. So if you do a video on that, please ping me. I would love to watch it.
Okay, yeah, I probably have made it too confusing, but whenever people ping you on the set Selenelian, the one that is impossible is the morning side. So
Hmm.
what you were saying, where the moon and the sun does have to be in alignment, That is 100% correct, and the impossible side is on the morning side, which doesn't make sense to most flat earthers.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll check it out.
yeah. I'll do a video, and hopefully I'll be able to make more sense. All right. That's basic. That's most of my questions. I hope I haven't. I've been within the 20 or 30 minutes or whatever like that. Did you have any final comments that you wanted to raise?
Well, I just hope people are excited. They can follow us on YouTube. Just search The Final Experiment. Our channel should come right up. We try to give updates daily throughout the week. Our website is thefinalexperiment.com, but it's got hyphens in it. So the hyphen final hyphen experiment.com. We've got a live countdown timer on there for when we land in Antarctica and FAQs and people that do interviews. We put them up on there. So this interview will go up on there. And yeah, if anybody has any ideas or suggestions for us, please reach out. Would love to hear it.
Okay, excellent. I will throw one last question in, seeing as you were talking about the timer. Um, are these tickets selling out at a somewhat fast speed, or like, obviously, is there a deadline for everyone to actually make their decision and pay?
Yeah, the advertised deadline is September 15th. I might be able to get that extended if we need, but that's the advertised deadline. So I think that's a good deadline for people to think about.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just want to make sure that obviously that all the seats don't suddenly become taken, and then certain people miss out. So I think that it'd be a good idea to get a few allocations, down the line so that people are ready.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely.
Excellent. No worries. Well, thanks for speaking to me on this, and I hope I haven't confused you, and I hope you got a few laughs out of it.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks so much for having me.
Excellent. Thank you.